Imagine waking up to find that the fuel needed to run your daily life has abruptly become scarce and prohibitively expensive. This is the unsettling reality that ordinary Russians are currently grappling with. A seemingly overnight fuel shortage has thrown the country into chaos and prices are skyrocketing. The fuel crisis in Russia is a complex and multifaceted issue, and it's affecting every corner of the country. It's not just about filling up your car or heating your home. This fuel shortage is impacting every aspect of daily life, from transportation to businesses. Imagine trying to commute to work when public transportation is severely limited because there's simply not enough fuel. Picture yourself as a business owner, struggling to keep your operation running as fuel costs rise exponentially. This is not just a hypothetical scenario for many Russians, it's their current reality. The situation becomes even more dire in the rural areas. Farmers, who play a crucial role in the nation's food supply, are feeling the pinch. With the harvest season underway, the shortage of fuel for their equipment could risk food waste and significantly reduce export income. These rising prices and the scarcity of fuel are not just causing inconvenience, they are threatening the livelihoods of millions of Russians. The cost of living is increasing, and for many, it is becoming unaffordable. The Russian ruble has weakened significantly over the past year, and interest rate hikes have been ineffective in stabilizing it. The economic challenges are mounting, and the ordinary Russian citizen is bearing the brunt of it. The question on everyone's lips is why? Why has Russia, one of the largest oil producers in the world, suddenly run out of fuel? Why are prices soaring, and why does the situation seem to be worsening with each passing day? As the Russian population grapples with these challenges, one must ask, what led to this crisis? This is the question we will attempt to answer in the subsequent scenes. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the underlying factors and global impacts of the Russian fuel crisis. Unraveling the threads of this crisis takes us to some unexpected places. To begin with, let's talk about refining capabilities. Roughly 45% of Russia's refining capabilities have been taken offline, a significant blow to the country's ability to produce fuel domestically. Imagine, if you will, a factory that usually produces 100 cars a day. Suddenly it can only produce 55. The supply chain is disrupted, the demand remains the same, but the supply is drastically reduced. This is precisely what's happening with fuel production in Russia. Now let's shift our focus to the government's response. In an attempt to protect the domestic market and ensure the availability of fuel, the Russian government introduced an export ban on gasoline, diesel, and refined products. This move was designed to keep more fuel within the country, but its consequences have been far-reaching. The ban on exports might seem like a good idea on the surface. After all, if there's a shortage, why not keep as much fuel as possible within the country? But the situation is not that simple. The ban interrupts the global oil market, creating a ripple effect that reaches far beyond Russia's borders. And with Russia being one of the world's top oil producers, any disruption in its supply has a significant impact on global oil prices. Furthermore, the ban has come at a critical time. Russia's harvest season is upon us, and farmers desperately need fuel for their equipment. With the shortage, there's a real risk of food waste and a reduction in export income, adding another layer of complexity to the unfolding crisis. In conclusion, the factors contributing to Russia's fuel shortage and price hikes are multifaceted. They stem from a combination of reduced refining capabilities, government policies, and global market dynamics. But the crisis doesn't stop at Russia's borders. It has significant implications for the global economy. Ripples from Russia's crisis are spreading, causing waves in the global economy. We're currently witnessing a global domino effect, a chain reaction that begins in the heart of Russia and spreads to every corner of the world. The fuel shortages and subsequent export ban in Russia have led to a substantial surge in global oil prices. As Russia, one of the world's leading oil exporters, restricts its supply, the global market feels the pinch. Oil, often referred to as the black gold, is a crucial component of modern economies. It fuels transportation, powers industries, and is an essential raw material in countless products. So when the price of oil rises, it doesn't just affect the pumps at your local gas station. It reverberates through entire economies. For countries heavily reliant on oil imports, this price hike can be devastating. It increases the cost of living, drives up inflation, and can potentially trigger economic downturns. And let's not forget the already fragile state of the global economy, still recovering from the shocks of the previous years. This added pressure from rising oil prices could prove to be a significant setback. But it's not just about oil. Russia's fuel shortage is also impacting its agricultural sector, particularly during the crucial harvest season. Farmers unable to fuel their machinery risk losing their crops. This could potentially lead to food waste on a massive scale and a significant reduction in Russia's export income. And as we all know, in our interconnected world, a food shortage in one region can lead to price increases and supply issues in others. Thus, the ripple effects of Russia's fuel shortage could reach our dinner tables too. The global impact of Russia's crisis is a stark reminder of our interconnected world. It underscores the delicate balance of global economies and the potential for local issues to have far-reaching consequences. Russia's economy is like a ship in stormy seas, struggling to stay afloat. As we delve deeper into the crisis, we find the Russian ruble, the nation's currency, weakening significantly over the past year. This depreciation is a stark reflection of the internal economic challenges Russia is currently grappling with. Despite attempts to stabilize the currency through interest rate hikes, these measures have proven largely ineffective. Imagine being on a roller coaster where the highs are just as terrifying as the lows. That's the Russian ruble for you. It's like a vessel tossed about on turbulent waters, causing distress and uncertainty among the populace. The weakened ruble has a domino effect on the economy. When a country's currency loses its value, everything becomes more expensive. Import costs rise, driving up prices for goods and services. For a country like Russia, which relies heavily on imports, this can be particularly damaging. Moreover, the depreciation of the ruble makes foreign debt more expensive to service. It's like having a loan in a foreign currency and then your earnings suddenly drop in value. You're left having to pay back more than you initially borrowed. This situation could potentially lead to a debt crisis, further exacerbating the economic challenges. Additionally, a weak currency can deter foreign investment. Investors may be wary of putting their money into a country with a volatile currency for fear of losing their investment. This lack of foreign investment can stifle economic growth and development, creating an even more challenging economic landscape. These internal economic challenges, coupled with the fuel shortages and price rises, are creating a perfect storm for the Russian economy. The country is in a tight spot with little room to maneuver. The consequences of these challenges are far-reaching, affecting every corner of the Russian economy. As the storm rages on, how has the Russian government responded? Stay tuned as we delve into the government's actions and their impact on international relations in our next segment. In times of crisis, the actions of governments can make or break a situation. The Russian government, in response to this fuel shortage and price hike crisis, has taken several steps. However, these measures have sparked controversy and concern both domestically and internationally. The government has imposed an export ban on gasoline, diesel, and other refined products. This move is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it aims to ensure sufficient fuel for domestic use, particularly for the harvest season. On the other hand, it has led to a steep rise in global oil prices, adding fuel to the already fragile global economy. Internally, the Russian government has been grappling with a weakening ruble. Despite several interest rate hikes, the currency continues to falter. This economic instability further compounds the challenges faced by the Russian populace. In an attempt to alleviate the crisis, the government has been investing in its refining capabilities. However, with 45% of these capabilities currently offline, the nation remains in a precarious position. Turning our gaze outward, we see that this crisis has also had significant ramifications for Russia's international relations. The export ban has strained ties with countries dependent on Russian fuel exports. Moreover, the rising global oil prices have stirred discontent among nations worldwide, further isolating Russia on the international stage. The crisis has also prompted discussions on energy security and the risks associated with over-reliance on a single source of fuel. It has underscored the need for diversification of energy sources and the exploration of renewable alternatives. In conclusion, the Russian government's response to the crisis has been a delicate balancing act. It is faced with the daunting task of mitigating the internal crisis while navigating the tricky waters of international diplomacy. The crisis is severe, and its implications far-reaching. It's a wake-up call for economies around the world. As we continue to monitor the situation, we hope for swift and efficient solutions to restore stability in the Russian economy and the global oil market.